GM guys, GM. Hope you can hear me. Am I loud and clear? Can everybody hear me? If you can hear me, can I see like a thumbs up reaction? Okay, okay. She was so few. Oh my god. No, wow. I know the country is hard, right? But uh-uh. Was so few. How have you been doing? How's your day been? And let's start with you, Desperate. You can mute your mic and just tell us how your day has been and all. You're Desperate. Can you hear me?
Yes, Jim, everybody, greetings, my boss, DX. Ah, my day is with nothing much. I've been home all day. I didn't go to work today. Took a day off, just, mainly for this modeling bootcamp. And also, I've been trying to figure out the assignment, although it's been giving me serious headache. I've not been working on one tool for how many days, one weapon, and then I'm not still getting it right. So, oh, I've not even seen outside shower. I've not been inside my room throughout the whole day. So there is really nothing going on. But it's all good. Got me on my screen. I'll just it work.
Okay, okay, nice. Nice to hear that at least you are trying, you know. You know what I was going to say was I needed to see you guys progress. The you see here's the thing that we're actually looking for very serious people. And I know most of you are serious, but some people are not like they are not serious, and I'm aware of that. But you see the thing is I know the serious people, I know the ones that are showing up every day. But the thing is when you don't even post your progress, others that have not the others that stay in day one or week one who know that we're actually doing stuff. You see that day when I know the assignment is kind of difficult, sha. The day we did the day everybody was posting their table and chair bedroom, you can see how it made sense. This is assignment number 7 now, if I'm not mistaken. This is 7. So when we did assignment 5, assignment 6, like everything was flowing and all, you need to post your progress. You've been struggling with this and you just kept it to yourself. I might not, before I even answer you, somebody else might answer you. See, at the end of the day now, see people like Kehinde now. She has finished since, oh. She's just trying to whine everybody. She has finished since yesterday, but she's waiting till deadline. Eh? She's waiting till deadline.
No, no.
I did not say she unmute your mic. See, you see, here's the thing, ba. Like, I'll not lie, like very brilliant work, everybody, right? But everybody needs to see your progress. You will help people. I don't have to be the one to maybe come and post, and sometimes it's always going to be it's just going to be like that, there because everybody's already used to everybody's used to my profile pic when they know that this guy is talking, I beg, I beg. But when they see it's like one of the people, members of the group, it's going to like actually make sense. So um okay, very quickly, Feromi, can you just unmute your mic and just quickly tell us how you've been, like how your day has been and all, and if you did the assignment, yes or no?
Do you mean? Are you talking about me?
Yes, no, yes.
Oh, I've not been able to do the assignment because I have problem with my laptop, but it has been fixed now. So
So you said
I'll do it
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
You said tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay, okay, it's true, sha. But is there any progress? Did you start? Even in the other laptop, were you able to like do anything in the other one?
I was not able to do it though.
Wow.
Because I downloaded another. You said I should download 2.8. It was not working. I tried downloading the drivers that you said to. Did not work. So I'll fix my laptop this evening. Just
Okay.
start.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yes.
At least I know I will hold you to ransom tomorrow. I'm actually going to get the assignment. So,
Yes.
Okon Emmanuel, quickly just tell us how your day has been and if you've done the assignment. Our topic today is very large, so we might actually be very, very fast. So, yeah.
Hi guys, good evening. My day went well. I'm just getting back from work, so I'm ready to get started on today's course of study. Today's course of learning. Yeah, I did the assignment. I was the one that sent that one that was like half completed. Right, that you said I should remove the background, the reference image instead. So yeah, thank you.
Excellent, excellent, nice. Yeah, I saw your work. I think you're the second person to even post. You're the second person. So today's own self is very, very like as I said, there's not going to be any like assignment review though because it's just three people that did, and even the three, you guys did the deadline. You guys are looking at people that like used to do assignment deadline. Me, I'm not like I used to be a deadline person. That's so bad, but it doesn't really help for organization and all. But if I'd seen your progress, I'll take it that you are even doing the assignment. So of course, I'll mark it that I'll mark it that you have done the assignment safe. But I will of course I'll wait for you to like finish up and all. Kehinde, quickly unmute your mic, tell us how you've been and the assignment. Yeah.
GM, yeah,
Yeah.
my day was it has been quite busy. My assignment was not done because throughout yesterday I was trying to figure out what to even do. I was trying out what you did, how you showed it was not doing, and I was just struggling with it, but I think I maybe midnight yesterday I figured something out to at least do some patch work. So today I had to go out, use lights. There was no lights in my place. So someone was actually asking me why I was bending my neck. I, it was hectic, but yeah, I was able to complete the assignment.
Yeah, very nice. Um at least this midnight, trying to get stuff done is actually getting to everybody now. So you can see, like, actually, congratulations. I like your assignment and you did well. Serious, I like your assignment. We're going to talk about everybody's assignment in the next class because of today's topic. So we'll just talk about everybody's assignment in the next class. From this topic, you can decide to take your assignment to the next level, you know. But I actually want to see them modeled first before I want to see any kind of color or texture. So lastly, Udo Ezekiel, please quickly unmute your mic and just tell us how your day has been and update about the assignment.
Hello, good day, everyone.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, loud and clear.
Um, First and foremost, I want to be very honest and sincere. I'm actually very, very much backward. I started the class from I think lesson 2. I got my PC very late. Currently, all I'm doing is just to try as much as possible not to miss any class and go back to the video. But I've been able to do just assignment 1. I'm still way, way back behind. I need to be very honest. But I'm trying to as much as possible to speed up and follow up.
Okay. Okay, nice, nice. Thank you very much for your honesty. And really, that's why I posted it on the group that I think these days everybody has seen the new style. The new style is to just, we used to be a lot like in the meeting, but now you can see what I feel because everybody's waiting for recorded. I understand that things are not easy in this country. Anybody that is trying in this country, learning a new skill is not even easy in this country because when you're learning a new skill, you're not even being paid. That's something that I know on one side self is kind of very tasking and all. But everything has a price to pay. Everything has a price to pay. So this is the price for you actually learning this, and it's always going to be worth it at the end of the day. You can actually even create NFT assets. It doesn't have to just be animation and all. Then back in the day, I used to use them to create NFT assets now. Model one character, do everything. Sold one for 0.02 Ethereum. Of that time, we say you can't calculate the money now before you say me I've been making one kind juju money. But that time I know, like I did one about the chessboard. I did like three or four. But I found out that drawing was kind of easier just to draw the characters. But then I didn't know what I know now. So yeah. So everybody, I'm officially welcoming everybody once again. I know some people joined in late, but because of time, I wish you had joined in early so you can just give us update about your assignment. But we need to hit the ground running. So we all if you're here in last class, you saw how sculpting was very, very interesting tool. And you can see that for all those some kind of organic object, like you see when you make a if you make a you see those your weapons now, you could actually even sculpt on the handle after you make a lot of subdivisions. It's the same thing if you're trying to model a tree, right? Before you put in those leaves and all, you see those branches, you can use sculpt to move this side, just create some kind of deformations just to make it make sense. So overall, sculpting is very powerful. I love sculpting, man. Sculpting is good, but guess what? I'm not even very good at sculpting, but I can sculpt characters. Let me see, what can't I sculpt? I think what I can't sculpt is very, very. I can actually sculpt realistic human beings. Well, what can all those okay, maybe like a very complicated monster that has one eye down, one eye up, like lizard face. Maybe that kind of thing is probably what is going to be difficult for me because I've never tried that. Never tried those kind of monsters like maybe or ogre, you understand? Not Shrek, oh, like if you see Warcraft, those characters now are kind of very, very technical. They have big like tooth, like cyber tooth, like protruding from the edge of their jaw. So those ones now, I've not tried them before. Of course, these things, if I sit down 1 week, I swear I'll be able to, but to sit down that 1 week now is a problem because time and client work here and there. So trust me, learning is always good, oh, and that is why trying to I'm trying to make you people understand that you need to be posting your progress. Please try. You don't I know everybody's trying to make it look good, but this is actually not a competition. This is for you to first learn it. And I think it makes sense if you get everything you need to get and immediately you are following up on the classes and you're dropping your assignments and your assignments are being reviewed real time during the class. It makes sense a lot. Not like you see, because you see this telegram, me, I'm very busy, but then I still find time to reply. It's not like as if I won't reply you, but it makes more sense. You too, you get this sense of fulfillment. You understand that okay, your assignments, like see that time I was able to take out time to show everybody's assignment. I couldn't because it was deadline already. Like it was close to the class. It was close to the class already. So that's what I'm trying to say. Let's try to keep the group very busy. Keep posting your progress. If you don't want weapon, post the one weapon. There are people that have not gotten to weapon. People are staying with ball on top table. I don't know. I understand some people are busy and all, but we need to, you that are ahead, people need to look up to you. If you understand what I'm trying to say. So yeah. So rendering, oh, Hisi, I think are you a newcomer? I don't think I've seen you on this call before, but I guess it's fine. So I arranged them in order of materials, textures, and lighting. We're going to deal with textures after. So now rendering, I know I started with rendering because before you render, of course your objects will have light, right? But you can actually render your objects. You see the way you modeled your weapons, you can actually render them like that. It will probably show white or whitish gray or gray because there's no color attached to them. Now rendering is the process of turning a 3D scene into a 2D image. The movies you have been seeing, CGI movies, Avengers, Zootopia, Shrek, all those things were 3D. How do you know they're 3D? It's not like as if they bring them out, you can watch them in actual 3D, like walk into their environment. No, it's now 2D image played on the cinema, played on the screen, played on your phone. It has become two-dimensional. You can't see the back of the head of the character again, except the character turns. So rendering is the process of turning that whole stuff to either an image or a video. The reason why I didn't put or a video is because even the animations you watch are images, sequence of images put together to make a video. I'm going to teach you. You see, let me tell you the advantage of this bootcamp. Now, this bootcamp, I will also teach you little about video editing. I'll teach you little about post-production, even if you are not even doing animation at all. This is just superior knowledge. If you are ever going to own your company, time in the future is going to help. You will know how to build on this kind of knowledge. So movies are as a result of sequence of images put together, like they put all of them together. So each image, not each second, like 30 images can make up a second, 20 images can make up a second of that video. That's what we're trying to say. We'll go deep into that further as we move on. So now there are three types of rendering in Blender. There is the EV, which is the physically based real-time renderer, which is the one that if you notice on people's own, someone will say, how does this person get shadow? It's not very special. How you get shadow is just you see in the top part where you have your wireframe and your solid mode. You see this next one is the texture mode. That last one is the rendering mode. They just put it there automatically. You see shadow. So it's as simple as that. There's nothing very difficult. Cycles is another type of render, but EV is the one Blender starts with, right? Okay. Workbench is the third one. I never use Workbench. I used to use Workbench a long time ago when EV2 was difficult to render and my system was very, very, very low. So I was like, okay, at least let it be that I'm doing something. So I used to use Workbench. Workbench now looks like your viewport. You see the way your viewport doesn't have a lot of quality, even if you add even if you add materials, your workbench still looks kind of basic until you move it to render side. If you see that texture mode, your workbench looks just like that. Basic, no shadows and all. So now guess what? There are more renderers. There are more renderers like third-party developers available as add-ons. Add-ons are like plugins, right? But these are the three basic ones: EV, Cycles, and Workbench. Now, if you go to Maya, Maya has its own input render and Maya has Octane. Blender has Octane, but it's going to be as a plugin. Like now, if you are used to using only Octane, there's another one, I've forgotten that one. It's even RenderMan. RenderMan is used by Illumination, those people that used to do Boss Baby. Is it Boss Baby? I can't remember, but they even have their own type of rendering. Guess what? Blender has it, but it's going to be as a plugin. You can download them as external renderers. So you can do your image, do your animations, and then move them to your external render to render it out. You see what you are seeing now is not rendered. This is Lord of the Rings. This is Lord of the Rings ring. And this is a rendered one of EV, not of cycles. That's how you can see shadows. That's how you can actually see shadows. So moving on. So what the render looks like, you have your cameras, lights, and materials. You can't render without a camera in your scene, and your render will only, like when you tap render, it will only render what the camera is looking at. Please take notice. Very important. So now you need to have lights. That if you have light, meaning you automatically have shadows. It's very important you have these things. And then materials, which we are going to be delving into sooner or later. No, so now both EV and cycles, which is the two main renderers, they both use this, both cameras, light, and materials. And renders can be split up into layers and passes, which can be composited together. You can decide to render just the character, decide to render the background later, decide to render the interaction with the character, objects to interact, and just render all of them together and put them or layer by layer, and to actually make sense. Most of this CGI, that's what they do. So they render the characters, like they play the characters, movie and everything, and then they've played everything out in the CGI, maybe in Blender, one kind of sci-fi world. You put your characters in. When you put them in now, the character is in a different layer, or the human being is in a different layer, your world is in a different layer. So that's what it does. That's what compositing does. Now, Blender also supports interactive 3D viewport rendering. That is the one that we just showed now in this last one. It's interactive. While you can see this, you see this move gizmo. I can actually hold this one and move it up. It will move up here. But this person only splits the screen. Oh. Let me just show you what I'm trying to say so that you get what I'm trying to say. If you have Blender and you bring in icosphere, take it like this, and let's get another one, scale this one to be big, right? If you come here, this is the textured, right? If you come here, this is the render. Can you see? You might not really be seeing you know, this is default Blender. When you open default Blender, there's always light and camera. That is why you can see this. Now, can you see that there are shadows? Now, if I press 0, 0 means go to the camera, or if you don't want, you can come here just to toggle enter inside camera, meaning if I press F12, it will render it. Can you see it rendered only what it was seeing. So what do? You can actually click on your camera and move it. You can press G, you can press rotate. This is already looking cool already. Take it here. You can come out, carry your camera here, press 7 to carry top view, bring it here, rotate it so you can view your object. Come back 0, come back here, and guess what? You can press N. If you come to this place, if you click camera, let me drag it out so you see it very well, the option camera to view. Can you see that? Now, meaning anything you do now, the camera is going to do. Now the camera is treating itself like your normal viewport. Now I can come out like this properly and check out my character and my scene that I'm trying to light up. You can see this is my light. So very simple. This is an interactive this thing now. But guess what? You need a system of graphic input to be able to do this in real time. That is why it's always advisable you come here, do all the changes you want to make before you press render here or press F12. You can come here if you want to preview, but when you want to preview, if you are done previewing, go back here and continue making your movements. You don't have to be doing it here or here. Always make sure you're in basic mode, so just to save your system small power, so at least it can render something for you. So yeah, so EV is Blender's real-time render engine. It is the real-time one that is is focused on speed and interactivity. Now let me explain something to you. Most times when I started using EV to render because EV is faster. Cycles is very slow. Cycles renders up to 4,000 and something frames. Sorry, samples, not frames. Frames is going to be, that's animation, right? If you are doing 4,000 something frames, that's it. To divide, if you want to know how many minutes or hours, you divide that 4,000 by, if you are doing 24 frames per second, you divide it by 24. You get the number of seconds you get in that 4,000 frames. But we're not talking frames, we're talking samples. I'll explain to you what samples are now. You see this image that you're seeing? If you zoom into this image, you will notice that you see box pixelated, pixelated. You see those small, small boxes, those are the number of samples. So the less number of samples, the faster your render. The faster your render is, you can imagine. So now cycles is very slow. Eevee treats everything as like Eevee runs through all the samples at once. That's the thing. That's why Eevee is fast. But guess what? Eevee is inconsistent. That's where the problem is. So let's just go. Eevee can be used interactively in the 3D viewport, but also produce high quality final renders. Trust me, guys, Eevee is still good when it comes to rendering. They are very nice renders that Eevee has actually produced. You understand? So it's not something that okay, since Cycles is better, I'll tell you the reason why people choose Cycles most of the time. So now EV materials are created using the same shade nodes as cycles, but not all, not all. So it's easy to render existing scenes. For cycle users, this makes EV work great for previewing materials in real time. So in case you're a cycle user, you can preview your materials in EV, then switch it to cycles. We've not gone to cycles yet. This is a scene in the EV. You can see how good it is. Now, unlike cycles, EV is not a ray trace render engine. Instead of computing each ray of light, EV uses a process called rasterization. So it just estimates all the possible ways light can reach, the amount of object light can touch and the ones light can't touch. For the person that did this thing, he did a very good job to make you think this is cycles, but this is actually EV. So if you go to YouTube and say, okay, how to create a scene in EV realistically, you will see very good scenes now. Things have gotten better, Blender has gotten better all the way from 2.79, and now EV has gotten real better since that time. So now, the good thing that EV does is EV uses PBR materials. Let me tell you what PBR materials are. Now, PBR materials are those kind of materials that oh, okay, how do I explain this? You can have a texture of an object. It's only for the color. There's a channel for the normals of that texture. How am I going to put it? Okay. Imagine you have a character. My skin color is brown now, right? Color, that is color. It's also like diffuse. That's the diffuse channel. That's going to be brown. There is a section where my body can actually reflect light. There's a section for roughness. That's what it's called in Blender. Anytime you say roughness, is the ability for the object to reflect light. Your skin can bounce light. You know, light bounces off your skin. There's a percentage of that. Now that's separate. There's also something called normals. That's like the the dark part of your hands and the light part of your body. My elbows are darker, the edge of my eyes are darker. Normals come into play. So now you have texture for your diffuse, texture for your normals, also for displacement. Now imagine I am all these Mortal Kombat characters and my left hand is crack. I don't know, I've forgotten that character. Now, for it to be realistically, like to show that it's actually a crack, you will see the depth of the crack between the rocks, right? Now you see that depth, that inward depth, that part that goes in and comes out is called the displacement on the surface of the object. There is a channel for that. Thumbs up if you are following. So basically, EV uses PBR. That's a PBR type of that's a PBR type of um, that's a PBR type of object representation when it comes to EV. That's why EV can be almost as realistic as cycles. Now with cycles, you might not even need to get PBR, meaning with cycles, you can just get the skin color, maybe paint on the character, and it will look as almost as good as, even not even better than an object that has PBR, that has roughness, that has everything. But don't forget, light will bounce on every object. Don't forget. Even if it's very little, light will bounce on every object. So render settings. So we have sampling, you have viewport, you have render, you have viewport denoising. So now EV uses a temporal anti-aliasing. So now this one is a sample based. So it is faster because of performance. That's why if you type render in EV, it's very fast. You can see that time when I type render, it went fast. Let me just go. Let's do some kind of demo. So this is Blender, right? So now, if you come here, you know this is your active tool. Anything you're doing, this is where your active tool is. See where your render properties is. Can you see? CEV. Come here, workbench and cycles. Look at the samples I was talking of. So now, the higher you increase these samples, the more time it will take to render this object. That's just how it is. So blend EV has an automatic denoising. Let me tell you what denoising means. Now, denoising is, you know, after you have told you to render only, like now you've told you to render only 64 squares here. You know, after those squares, you can imagine, okay, let me just type render. It's just that, okay, I've typed render already now. So this, okay, let me re-render again. F12. Now, if you zoom in, are you seeing these boxes? I know you are seeing them. Look, can you see? Now, denoising helps to blend them so that we will not be seeing these boxes. So you agree with me that the higher you have, the more quality of your work. Look, pixelated. But that's when no mad person will come and be zooming like this to every of your work when the person does not have work. Nice. That one made sense. So basically, right? You can see, it's meaning the more squares we have is increasing the more samples. It's just simple like that. This is what I've been trying to say. If you can see my screen, please thumbs up. So now you can see that the amount of squares you have will always increase the quality of work you have. Very important. Very, very important. So that's how powerful EV is. I knew this class is actually very interesting because I love the part of doing anything 3D and animation is always the color part. I love that part. I don't know why. I just like that part. So ambient occlusion. This one helps with indirect lighting. Now, since objects reflect, each object have their reflection and everything, meaning light can bounce off an object. If light bounces off an object, it's going to hit maybe the ground, another object. Ambient occlusion helps for you to see that detail. That's what ambient does. It helps with a lot of indirect light, all those light bending, light refracted, light reflected, all. There's also something called subsurface scattering. This effect mimics real subsurface scattering by blurring the diffuse lighting in screen space, but subsurface is not too good in EV rendering, but it's still good. Now let me just give you, in case this English is difficult, if you carry a torchlight and flash and put it just right behind your ears, you would see there's how your skin will emulate. That's that part of your ear. Is that something like that's what subsurface is? Light will scatter around that part of your ear if you see it. Same way if you put your hand on like in the touchlight, like your fingers, because your palm is too thick. So let's just put your fingers. You see all those part of your hand that is lighting up. That's what subsurface scattering does. Motion blur. Now, very easy to explain motion blur. Motion blur is, you see, like rendered animations by default, they are rendered by still images. Remember I told you that our videos, our animations, everything. Sorry, what I meant is our animations, our videos, everything is image by image. Don't forget, right? So now you see with these still images, motion blur, Blender can bring in something called motion blur. It blends in the last image to the next image. You see those very fast action movies, they use motion blur a lot. That is why sometimes you can't even tell. Like now, if you pause it, you see, like I see maybe, okay, like now they're trying to show someone run very fast across the screen. If you pause it, you won't see the person's actual outline. You will see maybe part of his body a little bit behind. Why? That is what motion blur does. I was trying to give an example of what motion blur does. See motion blur, look at, you can see all of them, you can see the edge of their object, nothing is moving. But see post-process motion blur, can you see? This is post-process. This was not done in Blender, meaning that if you finish your animation and you want to sequence your images, you can use a third-party software like After Effects to actually blend in your images. You can see that this box is blurry. This one is blurry. This is blurry. What are they showing you? They are in motion. This one doesn't really show that they are in motion, except we play this video. Let me explain something. So now position controls at what point the shutter opens. That's at what position you want that one to start, the start frame of where your motion blur is going to start, center of the frame, where it is going to be open at that current frame, and then the end of the frame where the shutter is closed, so you can decide when you want your motion blur to stop. Me, funny enough, I actually never even stopped. Like I used to just do start time and move on. Especially when I was doing that animation of those cars. That one was 2D sha, but their vehicles were in 3D, some of the effects were 3D, and I did motion blur just to increase the effect and all, since it's a moving vehicle. And because I even did motion blur, there was a particular time when a character shot a weapon, and trust me, like me previewing it, I saw the spark of the gun. Like I put the spark of the gun. I'm even saying I saw. Sorry, I put the spark gradually to make sure like it came out like the bullet. But while it was on motion blur, I just saw light because it was fast. You know, if you shoot a gun, it's not up to, in fact, less than half a second, it lights up like that place. That the point of the rifle or the pistol lights up and goes off already. So like before the thing goes, like before the light like goes off, the bullet has already gone to its destination. So animation is all about tricking the audience what is possible. Simple. That's just the beautiful thing about this whole 3D modeling and animation. So volumetric lighting. Let me just give you a very simple explanation about volumetric lighting. Okay, let the volume scatter light in the scene. So unnecessary if no volume scatter is present in the scene. Volumetric lighting, you see those, okay, imagine someone's in prison. You've seen some of those cartoons where someone's in prison and you can see lights from the window. You can see like you can see the shape, like you can see the light itself. That's volumetric lighting. So you agree with me, it's not all scenes that have it. That's why they're telling you it is not necessary. All these things are in the render settings. I'll show you very soon. It is not necessary to have your volumetric lighting on if there's no volumetric light in your scene. If you have just normal light, bulb light, ceiling light, phone light, so those ones are not volumetric. Volumetric are those ones from maybe like a moonlight into a castle, all those kind of effects. You see, like maybe they're trying to show a throne and behind it there's a window and it's full moon. So I'm just trying to paint the scenario in your heads, guys. And of course, volumetric shadows too all work in the same principles. And you have your samples, your number of samples too. Of course, if you increase your number of samples, it will be able to give more details in your volumetric um, shadowing. This is what EV helps to do. Performance. EV is most for performance. That's the reason why most times we that our system was not good that time and all, we used EV because we needed to push our content fast out. We're not looking for so much quality. We're trying to allow people to see. We're trying to push content, quick content. So of course, we're only going to look for quality if maybe we're trying to it's a still image we're trying to render. High quality normals use high precision normals and tangents. We can improve visual quality for dense meshes with high frequency textures at the cost of memory. What are they trying to say here? You see that time when I told you that some part of my skin will be dark, some will be light. If you eliminate that part, if you are going to render a character, it will render faster but with less detail. That's what they're trying to tell you. So all those dense characters with high frequency textures, if you apply those textures and everything, it will cost more memory, meaning your computer will be slower, but you will get good quality at the end of the day. This is indirect lighting. Now, why not strictly correct? You see why they started? They started by saying this because EV is not very accurate when it comes to reflecting, like if it's not light, if it's in an object that's emitting light but or bouncing off light, EV is not very accurate. So that means that the HDRI lighting or world is considered as indirect lighting. What you are seeing is indirect lighting. If the world around the object was illuminated, we'll call it indirect lighting. So in EV, indirect lighting is separated into two components, diffuse and specular. Both have different needs and representation. For efficiency, the indirect lighting data is pre-computed on demand into a static lighting cache. So if he finds a way to calculate, just calculate them, give an estimation very fast, put them in like a cache. You know what a cache is? Cache is like okay, where computers store temporal files. Like okay, if you are browsing with your Google Chrome and all, there's something called cache. It's always saving somewhere. Like it's always saving, it's like dump files, right? But you can't really view them, you can't really access them. But every time you perform a task, the computer dumps like maybe traces of that chart in a dump folder, a recycle bin, or in your phone. So you see when they say clear cache. So that's what it means, you know. Let's just quickly present Blender so we can see all these that we've been talking about. So if you So this is what I've been talking about since morning. You can see the ambient occlusion for indirect light. This bloom is just to illuminate, like if you have objects, imagine there's an effect called glow. That's what bloom does. Very simple. Depth of field, depth of field, depth of field. If you have any camera that has depth of field settings, you can come here to edit, you to further take your depth of field options to the next level. This is subsurface scattering I was talking about. Your screen space reflections. This is just how objects reflect on other objects. Most times, sometimes I don't go to all this. Is why? Because it just add render time and the difference. You know, since we're dealing with computers, the difference are not that much. So it's annoying if you're trying to render something and it takes a long time. At the end of the day, the difference when you activated your screen space reflections and when you didn't activate it, no difference. You can imagine. So it's very annoying. So you need to, all these things is trial and error. The reason why I cannot give you a direct approach to this is your scene might require ambient occlusion, bloom. Some people's scene might require just the normal render settings. Nothing will be activated throughout here like this. Nothing. Look at the volumetrics we're talking about. This is the volumetrics, and since we're not using this is performance, you can see high quality normals. If you click it now, it will try to embed in all those textures and try to render faster. If you don't click it, while you bring in your textures, it will take more memory. All of them will still take more memory, but we're just trying to cut time. When you go into this deeply, you will see the reason why we try to cut time. Imagine doing an animation of somebody running on a video. Just to run, and it was just a 5 seconds video. That thing to render it, it can take, see, it depends on your settings. It can take you either 2 weeks to render it, or it can take you 10 minutes to render it. Sorry. Excuse me. So basically, that's why render time is something everybody, you can check YouTube, how to render faster, how to render 10 times faster, how to render 5 times faster, because everybody is trying to push their work out faster. You're trying to do a client's job, you've done the animation finish, or you render now, render it to take another 1 week, if not more sef, if you are not careful. So basically, basically that's what happens when it comes to just normal rendering. Rendering takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. So this is what I was trying to explain when it comes to indirect lighting. Guys, you know your layout normally. If you come to shading, click shading. Can you see? Shading automatically will be on texture mode already. Texture mode, that's this material shading part already. If you click this, it's still the same thing. That's like we're in the render mode. We're trying to tell you now that the world settings can also bring in light. You know, now our world is just gray. Look at world. See where our world. Can you see automatically is even on world? You can see automatically is on world. Let's come here. Let's increase. Can you see? If I increase, okay, let's increase the light of our world. Make it a little bit blue. Look. immediately. Can you see it has changed everything? But you can see that it has, like the object, all of them are reacting to the color of the world. This is what I was trying to explain, right? Can you see? So this source of light that you are seeing here is not the only source of light. You can even increase, see, can you see the strength under here? If I make it to be 400, enter. Even me, I knew that I took it to, that's outrageous. I was just trying to explain something, but it's fine. 12. See, even at 12. Eh? Can you see? Because this is world settings we're talking of. It's always going to be like, imagine there's light in all coming from all direction. Of course, everywhere will be blown out white. So you need to be careful, keeping it between one. In fact, mostly it should just be one. Can you see? Why? Because you need it naturally, realistically, even when it is in the daytime, let's say this kind of daytime or afternoon, highest you see is probably 2. But it also depends on, don't forget, our object don't have material. That's why it's also like this. Let's come here, click material, bring in new. This is material 001. Click here. I went to base color red now, so that I'll be able to at least preview small. So now you can see this light will not have much effect because can you see it's showing small, but it's not showing very well because your whole scene is lit up. But what I'm trying to explain to you is that EV responds to world light settings. Basically, let's come to world. Make sure if you want to go to world, come back here. World and materials are different, please. And you see, when I clicked on light, material disappeared because you cannot change material of light. You can only change your light setting. This is your light setting. You can make it, this is 1000. Increase it if you want. Let's come back to world, make it blue and drop it a bit. Now this is looking a bit more realistic. Why? Because you now have a major source of light. In case you shift D to duplicate it, can you see? So it's more realistic when you have this sort of stuff, right? So film, mostly all this film and all, this one's just help for an lesson. So they tend to make your, it's a setting just to help make your animation smoother, in case your images have rough edges, you can actually just to clean it up. That's what it does. This setting controls how much the image is softened. Okay, how much the image is softened. So now it gives more crisp renders, higher values, or softer and reduced aliasing. But you see, guess what? All these things, most times they don't make a difference. When you start to render, you will see what I'm trying to say. They don't really make much difference like that. That's the problem. Now, transparent. If you don't have, okay, let me just put it like this. If maybe you have a table on your chair, if you want your chair to be transparent so you can see the board that is at the side of the chair, you can come here. The thing is that you need to be careful. You can either go individually to each object, take them off as transparency, because if he doesn't know how to see transparency like that, so most times when you say transparent, this one means, you see that all those my objects and my plane, they will be visible. Our world will be transparent. So you can now change your background. You can decide to render your animation, now take it into, maybe I'll take it into a sci-fi world or something. So that's what it means. So you can render the background transparent for compositing image over another background. You can see that's what I was saying. Overscan, this one is like percentage of the render size to add the internal render buffer. This will have a serious impact on performance. But of course, it will help with all these render glitches. But guess what? All these overscan, some of them are set by default. So I'll just advise for you not to just, I know it's a lot to learn today. Don't be angry, but we are doing well. Please. No, no, I'm not Blender. I'm actually showing my presentation. I'm showing presentation. Like I've switched from Blender. Yeah. Materials, finally. But I might not be able to go deep into materials because of time. So, well, I've gotten to the part where hands on, hands on. So you see here, guys, let me just tell you how it is. We're going to be, when we're picking this assignment, I'm picking for, we're not just like looking for the best, we're looking for people that are like dedicated. Do you get? So that's where the thing is. We're looking for people that are dedicated. That's why I'm always preaching, post your progress. Don't wait till you are done and then you now post everything 10 minutes to class. You know, I like the way the other class was. Everybody came in and explained how they came about their. That's how it should be. And what's the difference between you having me and you on YouTube? Because basically, most people that are on this, they are treating this bootcamp like YouTube now. Like you can just go to YouTube. It's not bad. It's not bad, but those times when you have one or two of these issues, you can just address them straight forward. So that's why I was actually advising that okay, let everybody just, you know, let's try to be um let's try to be in our class and just try to follow up. If you don't even make the class, at least you can't be missing all the class. Make like 2 or 3, follow up. If you know you can't meet up with that class, that day, watch the video. Make sure I try my best to make sure I take out the recordings that day so that you don't have any excuse in your progress. I don't want to hinder anybody's progress. Do you understand? Yeah, so basically, materials, EV material system uses the same approach as cycles, of course. They use node support. I'm not going to go into nodes today. It is very confusing, but you will be able to handle it. I will teach you just the simple node system. If I can teach you the simple node system, you will understand from there. So now, due to real-time constraint, not all cycle features are available in EV. That's it. Of course, we explained that EV is very, very short, and that is why EV can do. That's why EV can. That's why EV is faster when it comes to rendering, right? Yeah. So EV doesn't have everything cycles have. That is the limitation EV has. But not to worry, you can still do your very, very nice animations and they will look so good. Really, really good. Yeah, meanwhile, I've just posted the attendance. So yeah, please, while you're on it, you can just quickly move in and sign your attendance. We are going to go straight to questions. I need questions. You can just raise your hand. Firstly, this is what I'm going to say. For your assignment, I'm going to make sure Friday you can actually get your assignment. I'm not adding to the assignment, so I still just need them modeled. I just need them modeled, plain. Because now I know we've cheated materials. You can actually apply materials to your object, but I want them plain. I want assignment 7 to be the way it was given. So last class, I gave it on Monday, I gave allowance Wednesday, I've given allowance to Friday. Now you can fine tune your object if you want. For the 3 people that actually did the assignments, your work, like you guys, your work is very, very, like, it's very good. And I would have loved that everybody had time to come on the call and just tell us how you did it. That was my plan, but the first one came in around 2, so second one came in around 4. I don't know. The last one came in around like 5, so that didn't give us a lot of time. So please sign your attendance. There is no question. Nobody is. So you understand everything I did today? Wow, that's nice. If I give you one, if I can, the next assignment now, if I give spaceship now, people will be vexing. They say, it's difficult, it's difficult. Meanwhile, everybody is doing it. So you can see at the end of the day, those weapons are not difficult. You just need time on them. Simple. That's the truth. The weapons are not difficult. You need time on them. So I'm still waiting for questions. You just need to spend time. Spend time on them and you'll be good to go. I promise, man. But overall, you guys have been doing excellently well. Okay, Lord Despa, very quickly. Yeah. Yeah, you can go on.
One of the stuff you made mention about motion blur. I don't really understand what you said about motion.
You don't really understand motion blur. Just give me a minute. Please sign your attendance. You can see my screen. Hope you can see my screen. This is what motion blur does. In case if this is a car, this is what motion blur does. Because it is a fast scene, if you take a picture, I want you to try this. Most action movies you've been seeing, any very fast, in fact, it doesn't need to be action. Some very high quality cameras automatically operate on motion blur. Once like the person is talking, maybe it's a presenter and the person, and maybe she moves her hand up, you will see that, oh, this is what the blur does. You will see a faint this thing of the tire, but it faints as it goes. Do you understand? This is motion blur. That is why it is very, very useful in fast scenes, fast movies, because it helps, it brings in more, it makes it more interesting. Have you seen those movies where the person is on the truck, is running on the truck, is carrying gun, and as he's running, of course, the truck is not moving, but they've put him in a truck that is moving. Maybe they use CGI to make the truck move, and the environment, of course, the environment is supposed to be moving too, if he's actually moving, but it's not real, right? So he's in a grey room, and so they took him to a scene of where things are moving. They will add motion blur. You would think he's actually moving. That's what motion blur is. Motion blur just blends in the last image in the next image. As simple as that. A bullet. You see all those movies where the character is trying to dodge the spinning bullet. You will see this kind of effect now. You see this kind of effect. Sometimes you will see the wave. That one is special effect though, but towards the end, there's always a motion blur. Like when Flash runs. Thank you. Yeah, even in games. Yes, if you play games, you see it there. You see it there. So that was the only question I could take today. Oh. It's cool. Please make sure you do your assignments at least, and um, let's just try to finish up the assignments, please. So have a lovely day, everyone. Have a lovely day. I've given allowance for the assignment. Please, can I get it on Friday? Everybody's own. Everybody. Let's try to move on. Post your progress. You don't have to post everything. Just post your progress for us to see. So God bless you all. Till meet next time.